folks, let me just say what I want to say and then what my hopes for 2012 are. This year has been a dream year for me in a lot of ways because the one thing I've always wanted to do was work in this profession, talk sports to you, talk sports to anyone who wants to hear me talk sports. I live in Hollywood, California, where it's almost like men are afraid to be sports fans because if it doesn't involve women or picking up girls, then they're not manly. And I like me. I like being who I am. I like talking sports. I like the fact that I much rather would talk about sports than talking about what that girl was wearing. I like the fact that I like talking about sports more than wondering about what's on television, who said what. I like to talk about what I see in front of me. And the biggest reason why I always want to do sports is I always felt that sometimes, especially in the last 20 years, that seems to be what's forgotten about this profession. This profession is not about always talking about what these guys don't do, how bad these guys are or women are. It's about talking about their accomplishments. And think about this year in sports, the accomplishments on the field. Like I said, Drew Brees throwing for 5,087 yards. Cam Newton as a rookie, he was ridiculed and scrutinized in his workouts. He couldn't complete passes. He was 11 out of 21 with no defense going on him. And everyone's like, he's a terrible thrower. He's going to be an athlete, not a quarterback. Well, he's breaking all the rookie records as a quarterback in the National Football League. The Boston Bruins came out of nowhere to win the Stanley Cup. Tony Stewart came out of nowhere to win the Sprint Cup after Jimmy Johnson had won it the last 5 years. There's so many positive things that happen on the field. Novak Djokovic. At one point this year, I believe he was something like 70-2. That's extraordinary. And yes, there's been tragedy in sports this year. We lost Joe Frazier. We lost Al Davis. We lost Leroy Selman. Dan Weldon, the guy who's been the runner-up at the Indy 500 the last few years, won it this year for the first time since he did it in '94. He gets killed on a racetrack where the drivers had said they didn't want to race on it because it was dangerous. And then you people sit out there and you criticize these athletes because they're paid X money or because they don't interview you the way that you want them to interview you or you to interview them. We've had lockouts in sports. They absolutely accomplished nothing. What did they accomplish? That rookies in the NFL are not going to get paid $80 million to start out their career? Okay, they didn't deserve it anyway. But now look at the sports itself. Baseball keeps wanting to change the way it's played and the games and who's playing against who. Basketball's got a 66-game season in which the older teams are going to suffer because they physically can't play 4 nights in a row. And not every team is going to be seen by fans all across the country. 2012 needs to be a year of rehabilitation. Yes, everyone this year seems to be wanting to change everything. Everything. Let's change this. Let's change the NFL's that. Let's make new rules. Let's make baseball new. Let's make hockey new rules. Let's make driving races new rules. Let's make horse racing new rules. And sometimes, folks, the grass is not always greener. Sometimes change isn't good. Sometimes change actually hurts. And it takes a long time for change to become good. And I know we're in this year, in this climate where everybody wants to change and everyone's protesting this and people don't like, the way society is with the top percent of the world making money and those not having money, and we understand that. 2012 needs to be a year where we regulate things, where we start to get back to putting things back together and fixing our lives and fixing things that need fixing. And if it's not broken, folks, don't fix it. So I want to thank KLESFM.com for this year, the American Radio Network, for allowing me to have 52 weeks of live radio shows for your listening pleasure. I want to give a shout out to my daughter Miracle. You turn 3 soon. Daddy turns 44 on Tuesday, so Daddy's very excited about that. I wish you all a happy new year. Be safe out there. To my family, I love you all, and we'll see you when we see you. Peace.